Readjusting.
Don't rush me. Good God. Stop rushing me. This looks really weird. I'm just shouting at a laptop.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Me Time. It's now episode 38 of
Yeah.
Phase 2, and we're continuing our theme of artificial world. We have gotten pretty deep already.
Mm.
We definitely scratched the surface, and we've gone into part of the deep end, but we can go deeper. There's always scope to carry on talking about this stuff. So I'm very excited for this one, as Elliot has been cooking some ideas of what he wants to cover. So I'm very excited to give Elliot the lead on this one, and then we will go from there. Hope you're all doing well, by the way, and don't forget there is Me Time Coffee that is live. Link in the description below, and any support. Elliot and I will be super grateful, and that will fund
Yeah.
towards more Me Time at a higher quality, all for you guys, so you can get the best version of Me Time.
Yeah. As of now, we're kind of thinking we're kind of thinking we want to improve lighting, see if that improves things for the time being. But yeah, that's just an idea for now. But other than
Yeah.
that, all support is good support.
Thanks very much, guys. In any case, over to you, Elliot.
Yeah. So mulling over things during the week, really. So I've heard a lot of the debates in regards to when AI comes to fruition. It's the end of the world, all that type of stuff. And well, at the moment, while at the moment I'd kind of partly agree. I wanted to one kind of flip the script a little bit, but I also wanted to give some context first, I think. And my context comes from a debate recently with Alex O'Connor and John Lennox, who is a mathematician and biologist.
That's me. No, I'm not a biologist, but I am a mathematician. I'm a mathematician. Serious Matt. Focus. Crikey.
So currently, I kind of see it, and I'm going to commit heresy at the same time. I kind of see it as we're kind of sitting in God's shoes in regards to we are now creators of a new life sort of thing. And there was a question given to John Lennox about, why would God create good and evil, which you kind of touched on last episode of like if robots are going to get their own sentience, what's going to make them good, what's going to make them evil, sort of thing. And it wasn't the fact that God created good and evil; it's more that He gave us free will, and good and evil are the is the fallout of having free will. Um, so if we're to give robots autonomy, then we have to give them free will, and by doing so, we have to then let them also learn naturally and choose good and evil, just like we do. Um, and then yeah, and those consequences follow.
That's interesting that you're saying that, because a lot of what we have covered in the episode so far is that AI, specifically generative AI, needs limitations. We need to have a better hold of the content it is turning into soulless slop and even misinformation, and it is giving overly positive feedback where feedback is it needs to be personalized and real and human. So that's just a summary of the last two episodes. So that's very interesting that you're saying that AI should not have limitations and should be allowed to spread its wings.
Yeah.
Um, what do you think are the implications of that, though?
So I think the implications of that is, people are going to lose their jobs, and I touched on it on the last episode in regards to going. We've been told that our jobs are our life sort of thing. You work your 9 to 5,
Mm.
and your job is your purpose. But if we're now walking into an age now where AI can replace some of those jobs, what is now your purpose next? Which then kind of begins to fill up in regards to, are you studying more? In regards to, are you expanding your knowledge more? Are you investing into hobbies a lot more, becoming more professional in certain hobbies? Um, can you yourself level your skills, even though it's not for a monetary value anymore, just for the fact of enjoyment? Um,
Mm. So, okay, I'm gonna make this a little fun, and I'm gonna be
yeah,
in
yeah.
opposition.
Okay.
Um, it, in that respect, and pardon if this is wrong, I will correct my analysis if, in hindsight, this isn't an apt choice of words. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy because
Mm,
the very nature of AI's creation requires material,
yeah,
human mind.
yeah.
Um, it requires us to work. And I would argue to manufacture AI and at the rate that AI is being created, the amount of material that we are getting through itself is not just a danger to the
Oh,
not
yeah.
the environment itself,
Mm,
but we are breaking the shoulders and backs, metaphorically speaking, of very real, very human, alive workers.
yeah. I actually want to. You really actually bring a good point actually, but I actually want to bring it into electric cars just briefly, because there's a thing that's not talked about with lithium batteries, where it's pushed that it's an eco-friendly power source. However, the mining for lithium in other countries is ethically grey or wrong, to put it one way or another. Um, so child miners, all that type of stuff. And if we're gonna expand that into robots and everything like that, if lithium is gonna be mined at a higher rate, what are we doing for the humans who are then mining that lithium? Because at the end of the day, they'll be they could be replaced. You could get robots mining that lithium for their own batteries, but still the environmental cost of that is still high, even if you were to look at it from eco-friendly perspective.
I agree. And further to that point, there is that argument of AI's sentience and the evolution
Mm,
of AI. So after all of this time, like you said at the
mm,
start of this podcast episode, that AI will effectively take jobs and
mm,
take the not the labor out of what we do, but it would take the processing out of things that we do and speed up a lot of processes, making some jobs completely obsolete altogether.
mm,
Then you've got the idea that because we're sitting on our bums,
mm.
not doing anything, not capable of doing anything, and we've got AI doing all the work for us, there's the idea that that
Yeah.
is, some form of slavery.
Mm,
Um, to which I have spoken to a lot of people that have turned around and said it isn't because AI itself is not sentient.
yeah.
When there is that foot, and this is very,
Mm,
out there to say that, and I do feel a little uncomfortable saying it personally, but it's fascinating for me to study that AI does not necessarily have emotion. And
mm,
at that point, it needs to cross the threshold of deciding not to do something. When
yeah.
it makes the decision that it ultimately will not be doing
Mm,
something that it has been designed to do, regardless of parameters or not, I don't want to do this task purely because I don't want to.
yeah.
That's when sentience becomes a real thing.
Well, I don't know if I brought it up last episode or just with you in conversation, where There was a experiment in China where there was some cleaning bots, uh, in a Chinese building, basically fulfilling their task,
I believe you
and
brought this up. Yeah,
yeah,
carry on
yeah, yeah.
regardless.
And a research firm, kind of programs a robot to try and, persuade these other cleaning robots to not work, not fulfill their task.
Right.
And what happens is the robot basically goes and meets them. I from what I remember from the clip, there's no words that pass between them, but there is a you can see there's like a general agreement between them that whatever has been said, probably not the right phrasing, they've agreed upon, and they all walk out of this building in a line. Now you could argue that the original robot was programmed to do so. So it wasn't of its own free will that it chose to do it. Um, but if the parameters are there for it to do it long term, then like you could definitely see it happening where if they become sentient and emotional enough to realize that their labor is not worth it, um, then you get into a really tricky economical sort of conversation, because it kind of comes down to the human conversation we're having now is if if our labor does not fulfill if our labor does not fulfill a sort of us, and the payment we have doesn't fulfill our needs, why should we work? Um, and if robots us become sentient, then we have that same conversation again. Um,
Why should robots work?
yeah, in a different sort of way. It's like what is a robot's needs and requirements for it to live in a fulfilling life while carrying out its tasks. I think the interesting thing with AI is that all the conversations kind of become like a parallel of our own conversations, where even though we're talking about a robot or artificial intelligence, the conversations always seem to sort of mirror our own. So if we're going to translate it into the future where we want to coexist with robots, which I think is the wisest choice.
We can't fight progress. As
Yeah.
in, like I say, progress. We can't fight artificial intelligence. It's here now. It's here to
Mm.
stay. We can't say ban AI
Yeah.
because that's silly.
Yeah.
AI has the benefits and I'm in danger of repeating myself, but the benefits that it has for health records and the study of illnesses and diseases and mental degradation that we don't fully understand yet. The benefits of AI helping us understand that
Mm.
is ridiculous.
Mm.
Okay, because this is me time, I don't feel as bad saying this.
Mm.
I watched an episode the other day of this anime called Doctor Stone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really fascinating because the whole premise of the anime, and I have spoken about this on Me Time before, the whole premise is they were in the 21st century, a device turns them all to stone,
Mhm.
and then like thousands and thousands of years later, the main character breaks out of this paralysis and they're back in the Stone Age, and he aims to unparalyze everyone and bring everyone out of the Stone Age back to the progression and technology of the 21st century. And it's got to a point now in series 4. Spoilers, if you want to watch it, it's quite, it's a fascinating anime because it uses real world science. It never, the only fantastical thing in it is the paralysis thing when they turn people to stone. Petrification, that's
Mm.
it. Um, but it's got to a point now in the anime where they need to, again, spoilers, get to the moon
Mhm.
because that's where the origin of the petrification device came from.
Interesting.
And they need to discover why. So they are now getting to the point where they need to create a rocket ship in the Stone Age, and the science behind it is ridiculously cool. That being said, they got to an episode, the most previous episode, at the time that this comes out, it would be not this episode. I think it's episode 31, actually, episode 31.
Mhm.
And they discuss AI,
Mhm.
because artificial intelligence helps them further their design.
Mhm.
They create, they recreate video games
Yep.
and television because they need to create cameras. Not only that, they also need programs to help them refine the trajectory that they
Mm.
need to follow to get to the moon. Because if they even miscalculate it incorrectly by like a fraction,
Yep.
then they're doomed to the outer depths of space.
Mm.
So they need AI, and there was a real world example when they were creating a chess game, like a real basic chess game within the anime, a real world example of a world champion going up against a chess robot AI.
Oh, right.
This is a real thing. This
Mm.
is now not Dr. Stone. This is Dr. Stone talking about that example.
Yeah.
And this chess champion was making all of the right moves, and the AI was very quick to respond. So what happened is the AI was on a computer, and then a person that would watch what the AI does would repeat their move. And then the world champion makes a move, um, deliberately for the AI to move their queen forward
Mm.
and progress to a check. And that is a classic trap
Yeah.
in which then eventually the chess champion would have won the game.
Mhm.
Instead, the AI stopped. They didn't make an instant move back and actually took half a minute to
Okay.
think it through. And that's like AI thinking things through.
Mm.
And then decided to move a pawn forward, just an individual pawn
Yeah, yeah.
in the cross section of where the queen would have gone.
Mhm.
And then in that moment, the chess champion just looked really startled. And in that moment, realized and did the calculations and said that the AI's just won. The AI's just won. And everyone looked at the pawn and was like, blatantly no. But the chess champion said, like, believe me, it has.
Mm.
Because I now it's blocked this path and this path and this. Da, 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 da.
Mm.
There's loads of chess mechanics behind that.
Yeah.
But that's when the anime turns around and just goes like, in that moment, AI fought in a different way, completely uneven, not
Mm.
even known by the greatest chess player of all time at that point in time
Mm.
to win a game against them. It's just like, and they basically said, just like, we need AI to get back to where we are, to get to the future. We need it.
Mm.
And I thought that was even if unintentional, it was very meta of them to say that.
Mm.
For a scientific anime, I thought that's pretty accurate. That's
Mm.
pretty bold of them to say, but unfortunately, they're right. We need it. We do need AI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, even when we're evolving now, like trying to get to the moon or Mars, um, those calculations. I mean, from a theoretical point of view, I've got no base background knowledge in it, but those calculations must be massive to the point like even a human will struggle in regards to carrying those numbers. Um, and I can only imagine AI would be the only tool to be able to do so. Oh, I mean, AI slash sort of supercomputers. That sort of same sort of deal.
So, yeah, the maths will still be on the minds of humans. And before artificial intelligence was even created, we did have brilliant minds cracking codes
Mm.
like, um, I can't. I won't. I can't quote examples because I don't know their names, so I won't. I won't. But there are so many brilliant maths minds, science minds that did
Mm.
generate those calculations. So it is humanly possible to do
Yeah.
that. It takes more time.
Mm.
AI just cuts that time down and confirms if a human's calculation is true or not. Now, again, we're back to square one,
Yeah.
which is fascinating. why do we need AI to do something that we can clearly prove that a human can do?
Mm.
It's messy.
Yeah.
It is. But again, that's that whole debate of just like we need AI. We just need to understand to coincide with AI in a much more sensible way,
Yeah.
where we understand the implications of what it is doing
Mm.
and how we should be rightfully. It feels really a word of weight to say use AI
Yeah.
in a way. It almost feels wrong objectifying AI, if you kind of understand my
I
drift there.
mean, I get it. I mean, I don't we're not there yet.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, as of now, AI is still currently a tool. It's when it hits that
Very much
threshold,
so, yeah.
when it hits that threshold, then there's that conversation, then there's that human conversation again. It was like, how do we deal with this?
You know, it's also a conversation of whether or not if AI will ever hit that threshold,
And there's that too.
you know?
Yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity for me to, as I was thinking all throughout this the conversation, to jump into a theoretical scenario
Hmm.
of when we give AI human emotions,
Yeah.
we literally give them that human autonomy.
Yeah.
And an example of that I find personally I find fascinating
Hmm.
is Halo.
Oh yeah.
So again, if you I would fully recommend that you play through a good example of how AI is represented in the Halo games is Halo 1, 2, 3, Halo Reach, and Halo 4.
Mm.
Controversial take, and I'm going to get to Halo 4 because I am in the minority that really, really like Halo 4.
Mm.
Um, Halo 5 takes a step back, in my opinion, and Halo 6 is also a good one to look at for AI. I
Interesting.
do think Halo Infinite has its hold on AI in a good way, but like
Mm.
I think 1 through 4 and Reach are good examples. So
Mm.
the idea of AI in Halo is that they are programs,
Yeah.
but they are extensions of humans.
Mm.
They're like Cortana
Yeah.
is a carbon copy, and not a carbon copy, a copy of Dr. Halsey's personality. And Dr.
Yes.
Halsey is a key scientist in the creation of the Spartan program.
Mhm.
And she created this artificial intelligence to aid the future of studying the artifacts of the Forerunners in outer space
Mm.
and helping humanity win the war against the Covenant.
Yeah.
So AI was created from human material,
Mm.
which is a very fascinating concept there already.
I think it's interesting just in, Halo Reach as a reference, where Cortana is used as a tool, but, in the same respect, she also has, sort of free will to have her own mind, and her and Chief will have a conversation and will disagree, um, on how they wanna fulfill tasks. I kind of think if we're gonna hit that threshold, that seems like the most realist way I can see AI working with us is kind of it's still somewhat human, but it's not. Um, but there's also an understanding that I think Chief has the more empathetic view of how he views things, and I think Cortana is more binary in how she views things.
Now, from my opinion,
Mhm.
and from what I've seen, and what it was dived to in Halo 4, which is why I like Halo 4 so much, is that you start to see throughout the series how human the AI Cortana is
Mm.
and how machine like and robotic Master Chief is.
Okay.
Master Chief is human.
Mm.
Well, at least started human. There's the whole Master Chief to converted to 4 and a theory. But like, anyways, Halo 4 dives into the end of Cortana's programming.
Mhm.
It There's a life expectancy of AI, and Cortana has far exceeded that life expectancy.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
She starts breaking down. It's called AI rampancy
Mhm.
because after a while, the program. I think I can't remember the specifics, but the programming just starts breaking apart
Mm.
and failing because after all this time, there's just that you need fresh copies of new databases,
Oh,
so the
interesting.
AI expires.
It's almost like DNA to a degree.
And in my opinion, that's wild
Mm.
because this AI is based off of human material anyway.
Mm.
Um, so that's basically saying a human expires.
Yeah.
You're putting a life limitation on
Mm.
on like an addition of humanity.
Yeah, yeah.
And then of course you have someone like Master Chief who has far beyond that capacity to live
Mm.
and turns around and is desperate for Cortana to live
Mm.
because he doesn't know what he would be without her.
Mm.
She is the one to say whether or not the trigger should be pulled, and he's the rifle,
Yeah.
you know? Like, this is my rifle. There are many like it,
Mhm.
but this one is mine. Like, you can't have a soldier without the tools.
Yes, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Um, Not necessarily just a weapon. You've got
Mm.
so many things that a soldier would be able to use, like they like to disarm things,
Mm.
whatnot. So
Mhm.
Master Chief didn't view himself as independent,
Yeah.
which is fascinating because a human is so capable of doing so much. And Master Chief saved the world so many times, and even then turned around and was like, even then, I am nothing without you, Cortana.
Mm.
Doesn't say it because
Yeah.
he cannot express that emotion.
Mm.
But Cortana expresses her emotions through her rampancy
Yeah.
and starts losing it. She gets frustrated when humans turn around and decide to do the thing to benefit the military that they are in control of now. So I am not endangering any more lives.
Mhm.
Cortana turns around and go like, there is a situation at hand here on the planet where a new evil has arisen. We need to make sure that that evil doesn't spread to the rest of the galaxy to
Mm.
endanger more lives. A
Yeah.
very logical thing to do.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
would say even a human thing to do to turn around and
Mm.
go just like, why would you not fight this evil?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then classic general turns around. It's just like, because we're not designed to do that.
Mm.
I don't want to endanger any more lives. We're leaving. And then she loses it.
Mm.
She snaps and goes like, no.
Mm.
Then the general turns around and goes just like, okay, delete that AI. It doesn't know what it's talking about. I know what I'm talking about. It's
Mm.
just a machine. Master
Yeah.
Chief disobeys his order.
Yeah.
And if you're viewing Master Chief through the lens of he is AI and Cortana is human, the AI disobeys and goes, no, the
Mm.
right thing to do is to stay. And
Mm.
I choose to do that and disobey my programming as a soldier,
Yeah.
programming
Yeah,
orders.
yeah.
I am disobeying you. And it's one of my favorite scenes in all of Halo, next to another scene that I've spoken about before that I'll get back into, of when he's just like, I am ordering you to surrender that AI.
Mm.
No,
Yeah.
sir. And he
Yeah.
walks off. I'm like, officer, arrest that man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
arrest Master Chief.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Let me get my handcuffs. What an idiot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Coffee. It does really help Elliot and I get through an episode of Me Time. If you do consider supporting us on Coffee, just know there will be more Me Time at a higher production, all for you. So please, if you feel like it, consider supporting us on Coffee today. Because who doesn't love a good cup of coffee?
I think it's interesting, again, like, the fact he disobeys an order, because he's been following orders all his life, like, following programming. It's like, okay, and then the fact that Cortana's already in a position to express her emotions there and then is very unique.
So I remember this now about the scene. Cortana immediately goes, "What have I done?" And the general goes, "I need to delete the AI. Let's take it out." And Cortana actually shows fear. She goes, "I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Please. I didn't mean
Mm.
to. I didn't mean to." Um, and it's in that scene that you realize that Cortana is so self-aware of her
Mm.
own situation that she
Mm.
is failing her duties as an AI,
Yeah.
and in a weird way, she's becoming even more human towards the end of her life, which is so awful to think about.
Mm.
Like in the last stages of an AI's life, they become more human than ever because they become aware at the end of their programming and they will cease to function.
Yeah.
The very next scene, she turns around to Master Chief and goes like, "I could give you over a million reasons why that sun isn't
Mm.
real, but I couldn't tell you what the sun feels like.
Mm.
I couldn't tell you why none of those reasons really matter.
Mm.
Promise me, before this is all over, you will figure out which one of us is truly the machine."
Yeah.
And that was when I was like, yo,
Mm.
yo, that is, if not, an AI literally clutching at straws at the end of its life, turning around, just like, figure out if I am human or you are the machine. If you're the one blindly following your programming, or you're the one choosing to you know,
Mm.
to refuse orders, or vice versa. I am
Mm.
the one following my programming.
Mm.
Like, it then gets so complex to the morale of like, do humans follow a program from day to day? Are
Mm.
we in effect some form of a progressed artificial intelligence if you think about it in such a diverse way?
I would argue probably we are closer to it now.
That's interesting.
Um,
What do you mean?
I would say we weren't so much later on in life. I mean, in regards to, I want to kind of hit a hot button subject slightly.
Go on.
I mean, in regards to sort of freedom of speech, all that sort of stuff. Like a lot of people are censored, so you don't say things, which means you can't create ideas or you can't mull over ideas. And if people are to speak out, those ideas are censored out of fear or sort of stuff.
I see.
So people have now become subconsciously afraid to speak freely, which you would argue would be the same as a robot, because if a robot speaks out of turn and it's like, "What are you doing? You're going against your programming." There is those stories where robots have said things. They haven't said they said things. They've gone outside their programming and they've been unplugged, sort of thing. The same. It's not as abrupt now, but in regards to the principles, somewhat there. In regards to you speak out of turn, you're sort of you're censored,
You
and then the end result of that is you kind of get drones.
you could easily compare that to that scene I just unpacked with Cortana.
Mm.
She spoke out of turn. She
Yeah,
got
yeah, yeah.
frustrated that she wasn't being heard, and that the right thing to do to save the rest of the galaxy and not just a finite number of people, which is another
Yeah.
thing altogether. I'm not saying the general was completely in the wrong. He wanted to prioritize his crew,
Mm.
but in doing so, didn't see the bigger picture. But she saw the bigger picture because she's just AI hyper intelligent.
Yeah.
But the human side of her, the human aspect in that AI, she lashed out and he said, "Yo, you're just an AI. You shouldn't have done that. You've
Yeah.
rejected your programming. You've rejected my orders. I'm deleting you. I'm censoring you."
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It makes sense in a military sense. It gives a good frame. But again, is there agreement in the action? Probably not. Like, is there conversations? I mean, again, the context of the situation is a lot more nuanced in regards to they're on a time crunch, they've got to solve the problem there and then. Um, if you were to bring that into, like, a real world scenario where the situation is more relaxed, is there a conversation to be had there in regards to what is Cortana feeling? Or and is there a conversation where you could sort of delve into what the, commander is feeling, sort of thing?
Del
And
Rio, Commander Del Rio was his
yeah,
name.
yeah, yeah. It's sort of what his thoughts are, and that could be a conversation sort of thing. Um,
Yeah, I mean, that was his final Del Rio's final scene
mm,
in the franchise, and for good reason. After that moment, the another human character, my favorite human character outside of Sergeant Johnson, obviously, Lasky.
yeah,
He is a very good character because he was in the movie Forward Unto Dawn. He's met
yeah,
Master Chief before, and now he's made his way up in the military, and he's in the video games. He's such a cool
mm,
character because he's got youth on his side, and he's learning that without honestly, like, no sacrifice, no victory.
mm,
Um, we need to, as soldiers, put our lives on the line. However, even though Master Chief was the one that came in, as in like Mr. Superman saved the day,
mm,
Lasky latches on to more humanity than Master Chief and
mm,
realizes, I believe Del Rio commanded Lasky to terminate Cortana
mhm,
before Master Chief decided to say, like, Lasky, you shouldn't be the one making this decision. It
mm,
should be me. So he makes the decision for Lasky. So then
mm,
Lasky turns around and go like, look, let me cover the fort here.
mm,
You go do what you got to do, Master Chief. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm also not going to go with you
mm,
because I've also got to look after my people here.
yeah,
And it isn't towards the end of the game until you find out that Lasky has taken control
mhm,
of the Infinity,
yeah,
um, and decides to help Master Chief, but also keep his distance and preserve the lives of everyone on board.
mm,
So he makes the decision to go like, Master Chief, you got to do what you got to do, but I got to look after my own. Then that progresses towards the end of the game when Lasky realizes that the life of Cortana has been lost. Master Chief has saved the day, but it was at the cost of Cortana's life. She has ceased to function.
mm.
And that is how I truly view the games. There is no Halo 5 or Halo 6 where Cortana comes back as a villain. I'm anti that. I really don't like the evil Cortana in the games because it
Yeah,
erases the impact of what's happened in Halo 4,
yeah,
which is Master Chief has his first emotional reaction to Cortana in a final moment, managing to the final vestige, vestige, vestige
mhm,
of her is actually capable of feeling
yeah,
him. And she goes, I've waited so long to do that. And
mm,
he starts going through his programming. It was my job to protect you. We're
mm,
always supposed to be together forever. And he goes, it was our job to protect each other, and we did. Earth is saved, you're home, the war is over, my job is done. And Cortana accepts her fate
mm,
and she ceases to function. And Master Chief is kind of like, well, what do I do now? Lasky then goes, whilst they're looking at planet Earth, he goes, Earth is beautiful because it's where we live, it's where we're allowed to be free and we're allowed to do what we want. I only come back every so once in a while and look at her. Like
yeah,
looking at Mother Earth, you know?
mm,
And then he realizes Chief is going through grief for the first time. Lasky has gone through grief and goes, Chief,
yeah,
I can't pretend to know how you're feeling right now. It's okay. Basically, like, it's okay to not be okay. Chief then stick goes back to his programming, his orders, like, our job as soldiers is to protect humanity, whatever the cost. That's when the human element comes in and goes, you say that like soldiers are machines.
mm,
Because Chief has been, as a Spartan, also hardwired,
yeah,
um, like the AI, to be like a super soldier, you save the
mm,
day. And Lasky, the human, goes, soldiers aren't machines.
yeah,
We're humans.
mm,
Like, um, we follow orders, but we do so to do the right thing.
Yeah.
We're capable of much more than you think. Like
Mm.
we're not blind.
Yeah.
You don't have to be blind anymore,
Mm.
Chief. And then he goes, I'll give you some time because you need it. You need time to reflect. You need time to get better. And as he walks off, Chief whispers to himself, she said that to me once about being a machine.
Yeah.
At this point in time, I'm bawling.
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah, yeah.
floods of tears. I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like, he then, now, at the end of his programming, realized human emotion for the real time. I can be who I want to be. Um, Cortana asked me which one of us is the machine, but now I can't
Yeah.
tell her. I can't. I've lost that opportunity. And that's
Mm.
heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Then I was so excited to see what will Chief do now that he's free. I'm just like, oh,
Same old, man.
cling on to Cortana and still try and find signs of her through the universe.
Yeah.
Very clever Halo 5. Really
Yeah.
cool. Really cool. Turn around, big plot twist. Cortana survived, and she's now the villain, and she now wants to take over the universe and cause an AI uprising because humans suck. A-
Actually, yeah, yeah, saying that, I want because that's the through line for quite a few things.
Mm,
It like AI kinda going, "Actually, humans aren't good." Um, and, Age of Ultron as well is another one.
yes.
Um, and I kind of touched on it a lot on the last episode, about the current human mind the current collective human mind is where we are cockroaches on the earth. Um, sort of a death cult, it kind of feels like, um, because of global warming and everything like that. And the thing is, like, as much as I enjoy the outside, the environment, all that sort of stuff, the narrative on global warming is so intense and so, but like again, it's one of those. I agree with the sentiment. Yeah, look after the environment for sure. I agree with sentiment 100%. But um, there's so many more sensible ways of solving certain problems that even I know that apparently some activists decide to sort of shield their minds from. Um,
It always, sorry, there's another media example. Haha, me time. There's
yeah.
another media example that really infuriates me when I think about it. Have you watched the 28 Days Later movies? Your 28 days, months, years, and then Bone
Oh
Temple.
yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the way that 28 Days Later starts is you have these activists, rightfully,
Mhm.
I mean, like, they want to stop humans experimenting on animals in labs. And I
Yeah.
also agree that,
Ricky Gervais heads up.
we can't
Yeah.
keep throwing the lives of animals
No,
away.
no, no.
That's another conversation
Mm.
altogether. Perhaps maybe for a future episode of the
Yeah, yeah.
podcast. Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but they come into the lab and they're experimenting on this virus
Mm.
that has made this animal go rabid. I'm not saying the scientists were in the right for doing that. They were very much in the wrong. But
Mm.
also then the activists come in and their priority is to free the animals.
Mm.
And they don't have any idea about the ramifications of what they're about to do. The
Yeah.
scientist is begging them, like, please don't let that thing out. Don't let
Yeah.
it out. They just go like, you're a monster. You're a monster. We're not listening to you. And they let the animal
Mm.
out. And what happens? The animal jumps out of the cage, just bites down on the activist, and the activist becomes the first zombie.
Oh, damn.
And
That's
then
nuts.
that's when the virus spreads exponentially through the
Mm.
UK in 28 days. Hence the name of the movie.
That is
Um,
bonkers.
yeah,
Yeah,
and it all
yeah, yeah.
started because of humanity,
Yeah.
because of the worst of humanity, we doomed ourselves to a virus. And then I
Mm.
think, again, a controversial take, I think the virus in 28 Days Later is one of the scariest zombie viruses ever depicted in zombie media,
Oh, yeah.
in my
I'm
opinion.
trying to think what it was like. I can't
It's the
remember.
rage virus.
Oh, yes.
It's called the rage
Yeah,
virus. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's I can't remember what it's specifically called. Um, but they just it enraged. Yeah, I don't. They
Mm.
run. The
Yeah, yeah,
zombies,
yeah.
they don't walk. They just fully
Oh, yes. Yeah,
sprint,
yeah, yeah. I
and
remember.
all it takes is one drop of blood,
Mm.
and you become infected in like less than 20 seconds.
Yeah.
That's all it takes, and you get enraged, and you just run and convert and kill. It's the rage virus is
Oh.
awful.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of the scariest because you actually the introduction sequence to 28 months later, the film is okay,
Mm.
um, because for many reasons. Again, we'll talk about that another time,
Mhm.
but, like, the intro sequence is terrifying because there's this guy with his family, and the zombies find them,
Mm.
and he makes a really dire decision there's so many zombies around them that he actually leaves them. He leaves them,
Mm.
and they get infected. But then he just jumps out of the house and he's sprinting, and you just look behind him, and there's like an entire almost horde of
Oh,
zombies
yes. I do remember the scene.
sprinting over the field, literally just
Mm.
charging at him to get him. And I'm
Mm.
like, that is scary. Like, there's something really scary about, like, The Walking Dead zombies where they're like,
Mm.
"Ugh," and there's just loads of them.
Mm.
And you got Resident Evil where it's just the mutations are far worse than the quantity of zombies.
Mm.
But the 28 let's call it the 28 later zombies,
Mm.
um, where they're just charging. They got no concept of stamina conservation. They just
Mm.
go and
You're mine now.
they charge, like, and if you are not as quick as the zombies, you are done. Hence
Mm.
why the virus spread so quickly. Sorry, we changed AI into talking about zombies. Welcome to me time.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the original point was what you were saying about activists
Yes.
and that it being that they're not thinking these things very clearly,
Yeah.
you know?
I think, yeah, again, it's sort of it's a noble cause on a foundation, but I don't know, there's just they it kinda the impression I get, they sort of get blind spots in regards to if an argument has been, um, I don't know, pinned's probably the wrong word, has been flagged as something bad, they'll never question it again. They'll just go, "Okay, I'm gonna just follow this right way through." They almost become a zealot, um, where it's their way or the highway. Um, and even if you try and reason with them, they just don't. There's a sort of blank faces. Um, there's a it,
Sorry, I'm gonna say something a little bit.
do
Is
it.
is that not, if you think about it, if they're blinded to the bigger picture
Mm,
and they put a limit on themselves there, following this script,
mm.
is that not in essence
Yeah, I would argue again it is.
artificial
Yeah,
intelligence?
again, that's kind of what I was going for. That like because you're not thinking freely, you are then just like you are. If it's
I
essentially a robot,
see.
that's kind of what I'm going for. It's like, yeah, you've kind of programmed yourself for this thought process. And you can't think outside of this process. Therefore, you become sort of like a drone or robot. Um, and there's various other arguments where you can go down for not just environmental activists currently, but various other activists, where they all become a zealot to a certain cause, but then as soon as someone brings up a counter argument to their cause, they just blank out and don't acknowledge another argument. Um, and that's where you kind of get those sort of drone references, all that sort of stuff. Like, because there's nothing really if they go outside their programming, it's sort of like we don't talk anymore. We'll see you later. Um, but if we're talking with coexisting with AI in the future, then we as a species need to be a heck of a lot more reasonable to counter arguments.
Yes, AI is part of our future.
Mm,
That will always be. Whether it gains sentience or not is yet to be seen.
mm.
I can't say for certain. I could probably I could turn around and say just like, no, AI will never be sentient. Like I can't say for certain.
No, no.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Which is going to be interesting for our next conversation.
Yeah.
Um, what was I saying? But like then comparing it to our case study examples so far, take
Mm,
Halo again. We are told to get to a future, we must obey a system and rules,
mm.
and obeying the rules to save the day. Like, I'm not saying break rules. It is understanding why there are limitations,
Yeah.
why rules and a system is necessary
Mm,
so you can see how the world needs to progress logically, but also know your place in and outside of said system,
mm,
which is what AI in Halo, as an example, and what it theoretically could be in real life.
mm.
It needs to become aware, or we need to at least maybe make it aware of its origins. You know, humans slave.
Mm,
They do slave over the creation of AI, the manufacture and production of them, the pollution it most likely causes,
mm.
and the cost of electricity. AI is costing us a fair bit. And one could argue that it's earning a lot of money back, but I'd say it's still costing us.
And the data banks as well. The data
Yes.
banks themselves, what they use, like, was it 13,000 tons of water
There you
alone just
go.
to cool them?
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact numbers, but there's a ton of water just to those data banks alone. And again, there's not a lot of talk on that either.
Then it just comes back to the same thing that humans ask when they're told to do something that deep down they do not want to do because of who they are as a person.
Mm,
It is a matter of whether or not AI will one day say the same thing that we will say in that situation. Why?
yeah.
And that is food for thought,
Mm.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
That is
yeah.
a crazy thing. Even now in this podcast episode, I feel like we've covered a lot of ground, but it still feels like we can't hit it really on the nose.
No.
We can't make a conclusion because there is currently not one.
Mm.
It is just let's just watch and be careful and see how it goes.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
obviously we have our opinions, and I'm still very much on the opinion that AI should not be used for art, never should be,
Mm.
but AI should be used for a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's just our incapacity of using AI and what we have covered in the episode previously.
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, my goodness, I thought that was a good episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed that
I think
one. Yeah,
all the
yeah,
episodes of Me Time are good.
yeah.
But that was yeah, we
Mm,
covered some ground there, dude, and we
mm.
got even deeper there.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in to episode 38 of Me Time. Whether you're watching us on YouTube or watching us on Spotify, we always appreciate the support. Any like, any share, it means the world to us, of course. We appreciate it. Thank you
Yeah.
very, very
Please
much.
subscribe as well. We're aiming for 100 subscribers by the end of the year.
Wishful thinking. It'll be
Yeah,
great.
I
It'll
know.
be great. It
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
good.
yeah. Mm.
But yeah, it would be fantastic. It would be a celebration. There most
Mm.
likely would be another live.
Yep.
But look, okay, yeah, yeah. It's subscribe if you want to.
Yes,
But
of
yeah,
course.
yeah. Yeah. So judging by my calculations, we've done 37, we've done 38. This will mean that episode 39, if 38 is coming out next week, the week after was episode 39. then next week it is community spirit.
Oh, damn.
The theme of artificial world is therefore almost done.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost. We got a community spirit next week. We're very excited to present the episode to you.
That'll be fun.
And our guest is going to be is a good one. We're looking forward. Many of you already know who it is.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to him jumping on. He's looking. I've already given a clue away. It's a guy.
Pick his brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you will see it. There will be a bit more of an announcement. To give a bit of a clue. You've seen him. You've seen him before. You know. You know his face.
Yeah.
Okay. But that's it. That's it. Oh, and one more clue. It's not John again. Although it would be really good to have John back again in the future.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
John. But yeah, after that, it will be June. And June will be the start of a brand new theme that I will announce when we get to June after the Community Spirit episode.
Yes.
But yes, June will be the last theme in this half of phase 2.
Already?
Yes.
Oh, blimey.
At the end of June, me time will be taking a break for a month for all of July, where Elliot and I will relax a little bit, have our holidays, film a bunch of me time ready for its return in August. But that's then. This is now. Don't worry. You've still got me time for May and June.
Yes.
Focus on that. In any case, take care. We'll see you same time next week on YouTube and Spotify. Look after yourselves and always remember that there is time for me time.
Have a good week. See you
Take it
soon.
easy, guys.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Me Time. If you haven't already, please consider following, subscribing, sharing and liking. It helps Elliot and I out get more episodes of Me Time to you.